What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we want to talk about bad boy fragrances. The fragrances that when dressed appropriately and you apply these fragrances, they make you a walk-in weapon. Welcome back. Hope everyone is doing well. And if this is your first time coming across this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for future content on fragrance and fashion and epic giveaways. So as we are aware, there are some fragrances that take on a personality of their own and certain scent profiles that are just associated with mistakes and bad decisions. So I have gone ahead and compiled this naughty list of 11 fragrances that are dangerous lady killers. And it is quite a naughty list as these fragrances primarily use dark, sweet ingredients as weapons of seduction like vanilla and booze, tobacco and cinnamon. So if your plans are of a devious nature, then this list is just for you. So get your notepads out and let's get into it. So let's get started with number 11 from the house of Atelier Dior's. It is Rouge Saray. Now this is the bad boy that no one ever sees coming. It is a quite sweet and pleasant scent in the opening, but as it transitioned to the mid and dry down of this fragrance, that's when the dark, seductive nature of this fragrance takes over. It is primarily centered around the use of plum, dates, heliotrope, vanilla, and Peru balsam. And it gives it a very smoky, dark, resinous, sweet sexiness to this fragrance, making it suitable for the bad boy who is shy at first but confident in his ability to perform in whatever the situation may be whenever it may arise. It is a very unique yet luxurious fragrance that is somewhat overshadowed by its bigger brother L'Homme Feline from the same house, but this one is the bad boy that you never saw coming. Number 11, Atelier Dior's is Rouge Saray. Number 10 on our list comes from the house of Christian Dior, and it is Dior Fahrenheit Le Parfum. Now this fragrance is primarily centered around the use of ozonic notes from violet leaf with sweetness from vanilla and a smooth, dusty suede nuance to this fragrance. It is very dark, yet at the same time it is uplifting and fresh. This is danger in a bottle. This is the bad boy that typically rides a motorcycle with no gear, just shirt wide open with dark shades and has not a care in the world. And although the note breakdown may sound like a dangerous fragrance, it is very safe, very alluring, very welcoming. And I think that is the appeal to women. It smells like dirty, raw, almost like gasoline mixed with dust. That's the nuance that the suede and violet leaf combination gives. And at the same time, it's not too loud or off-putting in any way. So if you're the kind of person that is always trying to please people, this fragrance is not for you. This is for the man who is confident in all his actions and words and have the will to back it up. Coming in at number 10 is the Le Parfum version of Dior Fahrenheit. The number 9 fragrance on this list comes from the house of Victor and Rolf, and it is Spicebomb Extreme. Now this is still the best fragrance in the Spicebomb line. The mixture of spices with vanilla, tobacco and rum makes this an absolute weapon in the cold time and one that women love. There are not many other masculine fragrance, designer or niche, that you can match this up with and this doesn't come out on top. This is mass appealing, this is safe for any age to wear, and this is for the bad boy that has no limits. From daughters to grandmother, everyone can get it. Spicebomb Extreme. Number 8 on our list comes from the house of Rouge Parfums, and it is Enigma Parfum Cologne. Now this fragrance is for the bad boy who isn't afraid of cougars. This is fresh, dark, sweet, spicy, aromatic, all at the same time. This is for the bad boy who has been there, done that, and will readily do it again. It just carries that edge of darkness and mystery. Perfectly suited for the bad boy with mischief on his mind. Number 8 from the house of Rouge Parfums is Enigma Parfum Cologne. Number 7 comes from the house of Houbigant Paris, and it is Patchouli Sauvage. Now I think Houbigant missed the opportunity to name this fragrance properly. It should have just been called Patchouli Savage because this fragrance is an absolute savage. This is probably the most raunchy yet smooth sweet, dark, unapologetic patchouli fragrance that I have ever experienced. This is for the bad boy that pulls hair and slaps cheeks, yet gives forehead kisses at the same time. This is that good of a fragrance. It is masculine and dark, yet polite, and I think its behavior is primarily attributed to the way the notes are structured in this fragrance. It opens up very bright and fresh with lemon and bergamot, and then in the mid, when it transitions into its patchouli profile with dried fruits in the mix, there is no official note of rum or any booze listed in this fragrance, but the dried fruits pair with that patchouli and the woods in the base makes this a boozy, spicy weapon of seduction. It's a kind of fragrance that you could wear to an evening out, casually dressed, gentleman on your profile, yet it's the same fragrance that you could wear with a leather jacket with denim jeans and a tank top, ready for whatever may come your way. Coming in at number 7 is Patchouli Sauvage from the house of Houbigant, Paris. Number 6 on our list comes from the house of Daniel Josier, and it is Mystery Oud. Now, my love for the house of Daniel Josier started with the fragrance Ambre Tabac, and it led me to further delve into the house. And finding this, it's kind of like when you're dating a girl and she invites you over for dinner and you get to meet her family and you're like, holy shit, they're all beautiful. Mother, daughter, grandmother, everybody in this family is beautiful. That's what you get with the house of Daniel Josier. Mystery Oud is the dark, mysterious, and borderline gothic member of that family. It is undoubtedly an oud fragrance done in the same line as Oud Wood from Tom Ford, but this is spicy and way smoother. This is oud with no rose, oud combined with iris and pimento and leather, and this is just phenomenal. There is a resinous, deep, ambery aspect to this fragrance. As a matter of fact, it's across the line in all the Daniel Josier fragrances that I have tried. I don't know what the specific note is, but there is a resinous quality to all the fragrances that is so confidence inspiring. It's just so amazing how he could get fragrance notes to evoke emotions. Number 6 for the bad boys, Mystery Oud from Daniel Josier. Number 5 on our list comes from the house of Kajal, and it is Kajal IV. Now, this is for the bad boy who is a boss. This is rum with cardamom, a bunch of green notes, leather, and dates. This is very heavy, very dark, maybe the heaviest and darkest of all the fragrances in this list. This is for the bad boy that does not lack confidence, one who is very confident in every way across the board. This fragrance is very loud, very dark, very unapologetic. You know how there are some fragrances where they're marked as unisex or feminine leaning or question masculinity? This is not one of them. This is 100% man. This is perfectly suited for cold weather night wear only, in my opinion. It is that dark of a fragrance. So if you're bad enough and up for a challenge, number 5 from the house of Kajal, Kajal IV. Number 4 on our list comes from the house of Initio, and it is Side Effect. Now, this needs very little introduction as a bad boy fragrance. This is rum with saffron and tobacco, with a hint of spice from cinnamon. I think that was the note listed there. But what you primarily get is saffron and rum, and this is just such a beautiful combination. I am yet to meet a woman that doesn't enjoy Initio Side Effect. It is probably one of the top 2 or 3 date night fragrances on the market today. In my opinion, this fragrance serves to remind us that there are consequences for our actions, so wear with caution. The name is Side Effect, but if you abuse it, you might end up with side chicks. Number 4 from the house of Initio is Side Effect. Number 3 on the naughty list comes from the house of Nasomatto, and it is Baraonda. Now, this fragrance is primarily centered around the use of whiskey, woods, and ambroxan with some florals to create an absolute masterpiece. This smells exactly like a worn out whiskey barrel in the best way possible. This scent is unmistakable and gives away your intentions right away. What you primarily get from this fragrance is whiskey, some woods, ambroxan, whiskey, whiskey, and more whiskey. It is just packed full of whiskey. But I promise you, whiskey never smells so good. This, paired with the right outfit in the right situation, absolute weapon. Coming in at number 3 from the house of Nasomatto is Baraonda. Number 2 on our list comes from the house of Argos, and it is Triumph of Bacchus. Now, this fragrance is for the bad boy who is also a pretty boy, where nothing for him is ever out of place. It is almost as if the world marches to the beat of his drum. This is rum with fruits, saffron, and vanilla. Absolutely beautiful, harmonious blend of mystery and darkness. Even with all that darkness incorporated into this fragrance, it still sparkles, it still shines, it still manages to allure and seduce all at the same time. It's soft and pleasant, but unmistakably masculine and dangerous. Number 2 from the house of Argos is Triumph of Bacchus. And the number 1 fragrance on this list, the ultimate bad boy, is Iris Empire from Carolina Herrera. This fragrance is so dark, so smooth, so sweet, so seductive. I call it Mr. Lover Lover. Obviously, it's centered around the use of iris, but there are notes of Davana, dark chocolate, leather, and benzoin. And I am not sure what particular combination of those notes gives off this dark, chocolatey, boozy smoothness and sexiness that just oozes out of this fragrance. This is by far my favorite fragrance from the house of Carolina Herrera, and my ultimate go-to when rude boy things are on the agenda. It might not be as loud or as long-lasting as the rest of the fragrances in this list, but it is very unique, very rare and hard to find, and very appealing. And my number 1 rude boy fragrance is Iris Empire from Carolina Herrera. So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and until then, stay fresh, stay classic, and I'll see you in the next one.